Well, you'd think President Biden was playing around with the old Twitter machine with this, but it's real. It reads, MAGA House Republican proposals would slash funding for border security, a move that could allow nearly 900 pounds of fentanyl into our country. Biden also included his picture with a Border Patrol officer. The picture taken during his single visit to a border city. Remember, they cleaned up El Paso so he would see nothing happening. Backlash was fierce to Biden's words against Republicans. Our own Kayleigh McEnany tweeted, "This must be a parody tweet." Former candidate for Arizona Governor Kari Lake said, "We are losing a generation of Americans to the poison of fentanyl because this buffoon purposefully opened our border to allow our country to be invaded. That blood is on your hands, Joe." And here is our commander-in-chief from December. Remember this?
Mr. President, why go to a border state and not visit the border?
More important things to do than go to the border, the president said. Republican Congresswoman from Florida, Kat Cammack, is with me now in focus. First of all, did you see the tweet and what was your reaction?
I did, Harris, and I gotta say, I would say he's gaslighting, but honestly, I think he's just full of you-know-what. Honestly, does he believe that Americans are going to buy the fact that Republicans who have been screaming and stomping and going to the border for the last several years are actually looking to cut Border Patrol agents? If you look at the president's own budget, he's only adding 100 Border Patrol agents. We need more than 2,000. Under this administration, the Biden administration, more than 35,000 pounds of fentanyl has been confiscated, and it's estimated that only 5 to 10% of the fentanyl entering our country is getting caught. It's no wonder that 300 people a day are dying under Biden's watch. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. He is not the commander-in-chief when it comes to border issues. He is the trafficker-in-chief, because that's all that's happening down on the border is trafficking of humans, trafficking of drugs, and we are seeing the direct result play out in our communities across America.
Absolutely. Just quickly, when he says that Republicans would allow nearly 900 pounds of fentanyl, do you think he doesn't know how this works?
Well, considering that he's been to the border, what, once, and only after they cleared it up for like a half visit.
He didn't see much.
Exactly. As someone who's been to the border 8, 9 times myself in the last 2.5 years, I can tell you, it is a war zone. It is absolutely unconscionable what's happening. They're finding bricks of fentanyl that have the stamps of border cartels in my communities all across Florida. It's unbelievable that he's now trying to flip the script, but I tell you what, no one's buying it. Even the Border Patrol Council, they fired off saying this is unbelievable. They have done nothing to lift a finger to help. In fact, they took 89 of the Trump-era border security measures off the books. We have over 1.5 million gotaways in the country. We have no idea who they are and what they're doing. And we have 2.7 million people who have been paroled into our country that have a court date of 5, 6, 7 years from now. Do you think they're actually going to show up? I don't think so.
Gotaways roaming free. We don't know what they're doing. Well, they got here illegally, so we can guess maybe they're still breaking our laws.
Imagine that.
Bipartisan outrage over TikTok is growing. Last week's congressional hearing put the China-owned app's national security risk on full display. Lawmakers want it banned. Let's watch.
What the hearing made clear to me was that TikTok should be banned in the United States of America to address the immediate threat, and we also need a national data privacy law.
I think the White House is very in favor of this bill. But at the end of the day, you cannot have American data collected, nor can you have the ability for the Communist Party to use TikTok as a propaganda tool.
Some progressives still argue against a ban, though. Congressman Jamal Bowman said a ban on TikTok is racist. Can't make it up.
To ban TikTok is to, put a Band-Aid on maybe a small scab versus what's happening in the whole social media landscape.
Okay, I just shake my head at the thought of every time Democrats run up against something they don't like, it's racist.
That seems to be the default setting, Harris. If they can't make an intelligent, articulate argument, they just pull a race card and say, it's racist. That, like I said, is just the default setting. But, you know, what's interesting is he has 135,000 followers on TikTok. I'm not sure what the other platforms he has. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he feels like he will be losing some influence if he were to no longer have access to it.
Yeah, just the thought of that.
Yeah.
An elected individual, that is really sad and disgusting. Another progressive, dead set against a TikTok ban, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and yes, she posted her argument on TikTok.
I can't believe this, Harry.
To me, the solution here is not to ban an individual company, but to actually protect Americans from this kind of egregious data harvesting. And usually when the United States is proposing a very major move that has something to do with significant risk to national security, one of the first things that happens is that Congress receives a classified briefing. And I can tell you that Congress has not received a classified briefing.
Congresswoman, I have to ask, I mean, is this something that we're missing here? Is it an age group within Congress? Is it money, as you say, through followers? Because that's what that means, right? Yeah. I mean, do you need clicks? What is it?
Listen, it's clear that there are some legislators up here that are just thirsty for attention, and they'll do anything and use any medium to get that attention. But she says she hasn't received a briefing on why it's dangerous to have TikTok on our phones. She can go down to the SCIF at any given time as a member of Congress and read the FBI briefing, the CIA briefing, the Director of National Intelligence briefing. Those have been available, and I'm sorry, she just hasn't made the time apparently. But let's be clear, TikTok is an extension of the CCP. They aren't harvesting our data to turn around and sell it the way that Meta and others do, which there are legitimate concerns about those practices that we need to address. But that aside, TikTok is using this as a form of asymmetrical warfare. They are harvesting our data and our future generations' data to use against us. It's biometrics, it's keystrokes, it's all the information on your phone. If you are potentially in the future going to go into the military, get a security clearance, you will be compromised and no longer eligible to do so because you, at that point, have basically given away everything to our #1 adversary. This is insane.
Look at you hitting the nail on the head. We talk a lot about China's military on the show and how they have built up a navy that dwarfs the size of our entire military, number-wise. They don't have our intel. They don't have our technology. But isn't that interesting that people who might otherwise qualify for getting into the U.S. military could mess that up on their CCP platform? That is fascinating. Last quick word.
You know, I just think that it is so important that we focus broadly in a bipartisan way on a national data security privacy legislation, because if we don't, we are literally giving away the farm. The CCP will undermine us at any point in time. We've got to fight back, and it starts with TikTok.
Congresswoman, thank you so very much. Appreciate you being in focus.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.